Hey, it's Patrick from JMP Cycles, and we're going to be installing this Akrapovic titanium and carbon slip-on on our BMW 850GS. This is going to save us about 38% of the stock muffler weight. It's going to give us some extra power and some much-needed hot rod sound out of this BMW. Now, according to Akrapovic, we don't need to remat for this, but like I said, we are going to get some weight savings, and we get this sexy titanium-covered exhaust here. This is actually a stainless steel core. This black here is the titanium. Then you have the real slick carbon fiber on the end. But before we get started, let's take a listen to the stocker, see what that sounds like, so we have something to compare our hot rod piece to when we're done. To get our slip-on off, we actually have some GV bag brackets here. I'm gonna leave them on. I think I can do this install without taking the bag brackets off. Depending on what kind of bags you have on, that may dictate whether you have to have them on or off, but it won't change the install of the actual exhaust at all. So the first thing we're gonna need is a 13mm deep well to loosen up our clamp, and then a T40 Torx. And we're not only gonna take this loose from the muffler, we're also gonna get rid of this hanger. Akrapovic sends a new hanger, so we'll get rid of all that stuff. So I'm gonna take the hanger loose from the muffler so I can have a little more clearance to wiggle this out. Okay, so now that our stock exhaust is off, we're gonna go ahead and put our mid pipe on from Akrapovic. They kind of indexed where the clamp should go, right here where this little tab is. And they were nice enough to put some high temp silicone already on there from the factory. So as long as your pipe that's coming out of the cat is nice and clean, go ahead and slip this on. We're not gonna tighten anything up. We're just gonna slip it on there so we can get our muffler on there and all lined up without anything being tight. Okay, so Akrapovic supplies us with a new hanger and hardware for this, and I'll show you how that goes on. But you are gonna need to reuse these two bolts that came out of the hanger part where it attaches to the frame. Other than that, everything else should be provided for us. So you slip the sleeve into the little dampener here, and it's recessed, so it should fit in there flush. And then this little slick stainless piece here goes on the back. You have the outside portion here, which is just exactly like the factory one, and then your new Torx bolt that goes in there. So we'll go ahead and put this on the muffler. We'll just leave it loose, and then we'll slide it in here with the clamp on the muffler, and then we'll start tightening everything up. So this rubber kind of dampening mount goes in the back. Your little beauty washer goes on the outside. We'll thread that Torx in there just like that. But we're just gonna leave it finger tight for now, because we don't really want anything cinched down just yet. So before we slide that through there, we wanna put our clamp, just wanna slide it really loosely over the top of here. And just like the mid pipe, it has a little indexing nub here. You just wanna make sure it's in between those two spots. That will keep that clamp from moving around and keep it in the right spot. So now this is on, we're gonna slide it all on here and slip it over the mid pipe, and then we're gonna start these two bolts, but just to keep it hanging there so we can get everything lined up. Okay, so now I have this slid through here, everything's loose. You can tell I need to rotate this over. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our two factory bolts that came out of here, put a tiny dab of Loctite on these, and we're gonna go ahead and run these in before we tighten anything else up. When we tighten these up, I'm gonna tighten this hanger to the subframe first, and then I'm gonna tighten the little dampening hanger here for the pipe up, and then I'll go ahead and tighten these two clamps last. You just want to make sure everything's seated in there all the way. And these are going to get torqued to 16 foot-pounds, these two and this one here. On the back of here, there's flat spots to hold this while you tighten this up, and a 15mm wrench fits it perfectly, and these are T40s. And then the two clamps are 10 foot-pounds, and those are T45. So we're gonna wipe everything down so we don't leave any fingerprints on it and get them burned in there once it gets hot. Make sure it's clean. Let's fire this bad boy up and see what the hot rod sounds like. Simple as that, bolt-on horsepower for your BMW. As always, have any questions or comments, let us know. Go work on those motorcycles.